Neil Simon, first of all, thanks for your time. Neil, congratulations on getting the job. What does it feel like to be back?
Very special, quite emotional really. Yeah, obviously thank you to Simon for giving me the opportunity to be able to come back, and you know, thoroughly looking forward to the task what lies ahead and getting to work with the players and the staff, from some of which I know, and reconnecting with the supporters again.
And what goes through your head when you're coming back to a club in terms of making that decision to come back?
Lots really. You know, obviously the people that I worked with previous meant a lot to me, players, staff, and I look at the club and you know, it's had a little bump in the road, but there's no reason why we can't get back on track. You know, we've probably taken a wrong turn in the last 12 months, but it's up to us now, and myself included, to get back on the road and reset and become who we were, and I'm fully confident we can do that.
And Simon, why Neil?
I tried as hard as possible to find somebody other than Neil, but we just kept coming back to Neil. You know, we've run a fairly exhaustive, extensive search. We've spoken to a lot of people. We've done quite a lot of analysis. We employed an agency to run quite an in-depth report for us. I mean, it must be 40, 50 pages long. We had 2 or 3 sessions with them, and when it came to the unveiling day, we were flicking through it, and someone's name just kept popping up all the time, and I'm like, oh, I can see where this is going, and I just skipped to the end of it, and it's like, it's Neil Critchley. I was like, well, you're telling me something that I think I already suspected. So no, it's fantastic to have Neil back. I mean, I've always said how much I've enjoyed his company, how much I admire him. He did great things in the couple of years that he was with the club, and you know, to use an old football cliche, I'm absolutely over the moon that he's back.
A word for Stephen Dobby, who took over and took charge and was involved in the interview process as well.
He was involved in the interview process, and he did really well during the interview process, as he did during the time during the 6 games that he took. I mean, he's come an incredibly long way in his coaching career. The last 12 months of his coaching career, from being at Fylde this time last year to taking us in the Championship, is incredible, and he did a fantastic job. Whilst I was speaking to him, whilst others at the club were speaking to him throughout the interview process, we spoke to him about if it isn't his time this time, how would he like to be? How would he like to settle within the club? And he was very much of the opinion that if it's not his time, he wanted to go back to take the development squad again, take the under-23s, where they'd had such an exceptional year.
Which is what will happen.
That's the plan, yes.
Neil, when you left the club, how difficult was it to leave the club back when you did?
Incredibly difficult, yes. It's much easier coming back than it was leaving, I can assure you. And in hindsight, I didn't handle that the way that I should have done. I was new to management, and I'd never been in that situation before, and I learned a lot from it. You know, I'm aware there was a lot of disappointment, and rightly so. But I also think the disappointment in me leaving is sort of proportionate to the love that people feel for you as well, and there was a lot of love as well. So it can't change some of the experiences and memories that I had and we share together, and you can't delete them. They're there, and I'm sure the supporters want them back as much as what I do.
What would you do differently now? What would you have done differently looking back?
I think it was up to me to you know, go on record and thank, you know, Simon and the people at the football club and the supporters for, you know, the opportunity that they've given me, and for various reasons I didn't do that, and I couldn't do that. I say I can't change that. I can only change what's in front of me now. I say I apologise for that, but I say you can't change also the connection that we had. It was very special. It meant an awful lot to me, and you know, I'm confident of that's the reason I'm coming back, that we can share good times again together.
And how tough was it for you when Neil left?
Yeah, well, Neil had just recently signed a 4.5-year contract, and we were underprepared for Neil leaving. So yeah, it was difficult. It was the start of what's become a very difficult 12 months.
And Neil, well, you've been away at Aston Villa and then at QPR. Things didn't really work out for you. What have you learned in that spell?
That hindsight's a wonderful thing, and the value that you have in, professional and personal relationships are very crucial to having success, I think. I shared a fantastic relationship with Simon previously. That's a big thing for me, why I'm coming back. And when you've got an alignment in your thinking, and you've got a strategy, and you know what you're aiming for and how you're trying to do it, I think that gives you a very good chance of being successful, because it's very difficult. It's a competitive world that we're in. But I think when everyone's pulling together, which we were in the past, I think that gives you the best chance of success.
Simon, take us back to that promotion season when Neil got you up. What sticks out in your mind?
I think it's not just about the fact that we got promoted. It was the circumstances within which we were all living at the time. And I was in Hong Kong for the most part of it, and I used to look forward to to getting on iFollow once, maybe twice a week to catch up on what was going on. And I think it provided, I think that season, particularly as it started to gather momentum, I think it provided a lifeline for a lot of us. I know it certainly did for me. And I think conversely, sort of oddly, the fact that fans couldn't go to games probably meant that a lot of fans watched every episode, if you like, because it was on iFollow, so everyone could follow Blackpool home and away, which normally they wouldn't be able to do quite as easily. And I just think we all got very invested in what was happening during a very, very difficult time, and it culminated, of course, in that magnificent day at Wembley, when 4,000 fans sounded like a lot more than 4,000 fans, and we did it, and that was one of the best days of my life. May the 30th, it actually coincides with my wedding anniversary. So it's kind of known as promotion and wedding anniversary day now.
We won't ask you to say which one is first or second in your memory.
Yeah.
Neil, what do you think when people ask you about that season? What's your moment that sticks out for you?
I wouldn't say it was really a moment. The culture and the environment which we created was the reason we had the success, and that's what I'm most proud of that we built at the football club. And that wasn't just me, that was with an outstanding team behind the team. I got tremendous support. I'm just the fortunate one who gets to stand on the touchline on a Saturday afternoon and lead the team, but I had great support from behind, and the players were incredible. And obviously with Simon's support and the help that I got from above and around me as well, and the communication was excellent, and we made really good quality decisions, I felt. So what happened on the pitch was just a product of, I think, just good people doing really good jobs, and the culture in which we developed, and one that we, I loved coming to work every day. It's not work really. That's what I'm most proud of, really.
Presumably you still know a lot of the squad that are there.
Yeah, I know quite a few of them, yeah. Hopefully they'll be pleased to see me. Some of them hopefully will, some might not be. But yeah, that hopefully will give me an advantage, because they know what I expect of them. They know what they can expect from me. They know what makes me happy, what makes me angry. And some of those players, they'll be like the flag bearers for the other players who don't know me, and hopefully some players that come to the club because I'll be pointing to them to say this is the standard that's expected of you if you want to play in this football team for us.
Simon, I guess the aim is to try and get back into the Championship at the earliest opportunity.
Yeah, we need to get back on track. Whole series of circumstances have ended up with us being relegated. It's not where we want to be, and yeah, we want to get back up. And I think Neil's by far and away the best candidate available to us to do that. I mean, he knows the players. He's taken us up before, and he's did a fantastic job in keeping us at in us finished 16th last season as well in the Championship. So I think even if he'd have achieved those two things, taking another club up and holding them at 16th in the Championship, well, that probably puts him at the top of our list anyway. And then the fact that he comes in, he knows everybody. I mean, it's kind of got out the last couple of days that this is going to happen, and the staff around the club they're ecstatic. Right? The vast majority of people just can't wait to have him back, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to the season ahead.
Do you set yourself a target? Yeah.
My immediate target is to get us back on track, to get us back to who we were. We had a clear identity when I was here of how we played, which was built on, good work ethic, total commitment, organisation, and off the back of that, then certain players bring their own identities to the team, and that's how you create the imagination and the flair and the creativity. But if we get back to that, that's my immediate focus during pre-season, then that'll give us the best chance of gaining success again.
As the custodian of the club, how do you not let your heart rule your head, or your head rule your heart in some of those? So when you're a local boy and a Blackpool fan.
Yeah, well, I referred to myself as the custodian from day one, because that's what I am. That's what I feel that I am. I always said it's important that this football club survives and thrives, and I'm never going to be reckless with it. There's other owners. There's a whole history of football clubs that have had financial problems because owners have put, in many respects, their own desires ahead of the proper management of a community asset. And I'm never going to put the football club in that sort of jeopardy. It's a great, it's a great privilege that I've got, but it's also a great responsibility. Now, in saying all this, it doesn't mean that I'm not ambitious. I am ambitious for the club. I do want the club to do well on the pitch, but I'm not going to jeopardise the long-term survival and sustainability of the club in order to achieve that.
Neil, is that something you'd go along with?
100%, yeah. I came from a club many years at Crewe Alexandra, and it was very similar. So I'm totally comfortable in working in them circumstances. It's not about me, Simon. It's about it's about the football club. I'll work for the football club and do the best for the club, and I think that's where we made some really good decisions last time, because we're very good at sense checking and having that cold towel moment if we need to just take a second. And when you've got a strategy or a vision in place and you know where you're trying to get to, it's much easier to make those decisions, because it keeps you aligned, it keeps you on the path.
How excited are you to get started?
Yeah, well, I've had a little bit of time at home, so my missus will be delighted to get me out of the house. So I wish pre-season was starting Monday or tomorrow. So I can't wait. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to see the staff again and reintroducing myself to the players. And yeah, I'm already watching games and watching teams and thinking about how we can play and the best way to play for next season. And yeah, I'm very excited.